What is your favorite anime?
Mine's Skrillex.
Skrillex.
I'm so distanced from human sensibilities and stuff.
Was getting caught part of your plan?
Put your tray tables up and your seat in the full upright position, because this is the Flight Plan, the official podcast, the big guy for you, Scanlations, Japan's #1 Bane posting manga Scanlation podcast. Join the flight crew, Tom and Aiden, as we bants about all the anime, all the manga, and all that Scanlation content. What are we talking about today, Tom?
Well, you know, we've been out in the wildy, you and I. We've been grinding hard, killing mobs, even doing some PK in here and there. Finally, we've gained enough experience to level up. Don't you dare interrupt my great intro. I'll PK you. We're still out here in the wildy.
I was gonna say I'm gonna get my whole clan to come on you. I've got over 300. I've got over 300 confirmed PKs, and I'm trained in prayer so I can save my items when I die.
Well, you better watch out, because I'll call up my boy Zezima, and he'll drop some hot dragon twin lashes. Is that what they were called?
I have no idea.
What wasn't that like the ultimate weapon or something?
I had like dragon two-hander and a dragon scimitar.
Oh yeah, I don't think I ever had anything dragon. Oh, anyway, whatever. That's enough RuneScape talk. Let's do some top of the show stuff.
All right, what do you got for the top of the show?
Oh yeah, all right. We'll start with me then. I have a slight corrections corner. So last week I wasn't sure what Shinran Kagura was in terms of gameplay, but it turns out I was kind of right. It looks like it's, you know, those old like Simpsons arcade fighters or like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Streets of Rage. It's like kind of like that, but with 3D graphics. That's like the 3DS one that I saw gameplay footage of. I guess it's like a maybe PS4 console, whatever. And that one had more like a 3D action fighter, maybe like a Devil May Cry or like a Bayonetta, yeah.
Or a Muso?
So could be, yeah, but it didn't seem like there were a million enemies, and that's kind of like the Muso thing.
A million salarymen running at you to
grope the increasingly nude girls. Like I guess
that's
every
what
time
happens.
They get hit, they probably take like clothing damage.
That's a classic staple of combat throughout the millennia. Is the more you get hit, the more your clothes fall off.
Well, it started with ancient ninja, because like they would discard their clothing because it became too cumbersome, and as they were trying to like get away, you know, they would throw off pieces here and there.
That's a true story. The ancient Ninjago.
I don't have anything to go with Ninjago or off of Ninjago, so let's do whatever you have for the top of the show.
Well, let's let go to something else. Haha, there you go.
Oh, excellent. Let's Ninjago to the polls.
Well, let's Pokemon Go over to the best segment of the week, which is the Comments Corner, where we all sit in the corner and read the beautiful poems and the essays that you've buzzed your flight attendant call buttons while you're sitting there in business class, and these are what you've had to say to the pilots. So we've got Motorman 5 or Motorman V. That's how I'm going to do it. He says, MAL's seasonal anime chart is definitely trash. Would recommend something like AniChart if you're going to do something like this again. I mean, Mal didn't even list JoJo or Thunderbolt Fantasy 2. Probably the only two things that I'm going to watch next season.
What is Thunderbolt Fantasy 2? I've never heard of that, or Thunderbolt Fantasy 1.
I don't know.
Well, I might look into it then.
If he likes JoJo and you like JoJo, you might like Final Fantasy 2.
Yeah. Or
Fantasy
even Thunderbolt. I already forgot what it was. Thunderbolt Fantasy?
Thunderbolt Fantasy 2. Yeah, I've never heard of that. What is that? It's probably like some hentai. I don't know.
That reminds me of a visual novel. My big weeaboo friend is big into visual novels, and Dengeki Strikers is one that he's told me about often.
Which one is that? Is that soccer?
No, it's about like a kid who's like a hero or a villain or something, and he dies, and his wish is to be a hero. So it's like his spirit gets reincarnated. I don't know, dude. It's convoluted, and every route has like a different twist on the plot.
Every route has a different girl? Is that?
Well, probably, but also it's like in some routes he's a hero, in some routes he's a villain, I think. I don't know.
A villain is soccer player?
Like, no, there's no soccer. He's like a superhero. Dengeki is like electric attack.
Oh, interesting.
And then Strikers is because he always hits the goal when he hits a soccer ball.
Ein Strike. So let's head over to the next comment from Devin Jackson. What's the first class of this flight called? Also, I'm glad most of the animes you guys mentioned are manga that I've read, and I'm not going to watch them, but yeah. But yeah, also gender benders fucking suck. I'm not sure what's worse, being a guy looking like a girl or a girl with the mind of a guy. Either way, you're gay.
Either way, you're gay.
Either way. Yeah, I toy with quoting him exactly with swearing or not, because this is a Christian podcast, so we like to tone it down. So, but I will use my judgment depending on if I think it will be better or not to use such mature language. Now, I'm looking through YouTube Studio here for the comments, and I have replied to most of these comments, but I can't see what my reply is. But either way, I basically said,
that's okay.
It's going to be up to all of us. We're going to crowdsource what the first class of this flight is going to be called. It's going to be like business class or economy plus or something like that. I think we got to come up with some type of puns, right? Like anime class or like
that would make sense. I'm thinking like anime Weed Lord 420. That's the only thing that comes to mind.
What about like senpai class or
okay, and like the coach or kohais? No,
you could also do like ninjagos. Like what are they called in Naruto, where it was like
Hokage?
You could go Hokage class.
Soul
Reaper. Yeah, there you go. It's just something. Who knows? Something that's a pun, but it's an ongoing thing. You see how this flight motif has it's taken 20 episodes to really amalgamate into something that's very loose and frankly esoterically awful.
Oh yeah, and I mean, we don't even Bane post really, to be honest. If you think about it, that's where it comes from, and we're so far abstracted from that it's just like, if you were to come into this podcast at like say episode 20, you would say, I don't get it. They talk about manga, but what's with the flight stuff? I don't know. Whatever,
you wouldn't understand that either. And if you Googled like flight school or flight plan podcast, you'd be like, oh, I want to listen to aviation, and then you get in it and it's weeaboos talking about the waifus, and you're like, what is this? I did not sign up for this.
Yeah, I guess our SEO is pretty bad with that branding.
Speaking of the flight motif, Hashia Han says, does this flight only offer peanuts? Haha. And, I mean, I think we offer a full assortment of snacks. It's just BYOS, bring your own snacks.
Sure. Yeah, we offer as wide of an assortment as you can bring yourself.
He also asks on the last episode, or whatever episode it was, hiding your power level. He's like, is this how to normie 101? And basically, I someday would like to be able to pass for a normie while still maintaining my neat lifestyle.
I don't know if that can be done. You can't be a neat and a normie unless you're like super rich.
It's hard to do.
Even then, you've transcended normiehood into, I don't know, end game. You've won.
Those are our best comments for the week. I think with that, we can move on over into, what we've all come here for, the exciting conclusion of Dragon Ball Z. What happened last episode, Tom?
That's probably unintentionally a good segue. You're going to now claim that it was intentional, but
it was always intentional.
I don't know.
I was just pretending to be retarded.
So last episode, we had a lot of technical difficulties. I think it was kind of a good excuse to kind of launch into this topic, which is one that I've wanted to do for like a month now, about how to up your game, how to get good,
I do know.
Nice. That was like the podcast crux behind this being this week's topic, but we kind of want to discuss how to become a better like scanlator all around, and since it's like germane, also discuss how to up our podcasting game and maybe even the YouTube. We should probably start with like scanlation stuff, don't you think? Or do you want to do like podcast stuff?
Let's start. This is how I kind of had it in my mind. You carry us through most of the scanlation, the translation, and all the things related to what we're actually talking about. Then I can talk about the YouTube a little bit and podcasting quality and things that behind the scenes that most people don't really care about, but we can talk about because I like to look at it this way. Our voices are so soothing that you'll listen to us just as a friend simulator, hopefully.
The first part of my note says, why power up? I don't know why I phrased it like that, but like kind of the inspiration behind this, it's manifold, if you will. Maybe only bifold. One, I want to be faster because the mangas that I want to scanlate coming up, they're a bit longer than the traditional 20, 25 page chapters. And if I'm going to be doing those like one chapter a week, I'm going to have to step up my speed.
You got to go fast.
Step it up. Yeah.
You got to go fast. You got to go faster, Sonic X.
I was thinking, come on, step it up. The down taunt, which I think they removed in Smash Wii U, didn't they?
I'm not entirely sure, but that would be disappointing.
Well, they kept it in the Japanese, I'm pretty sure. I think this was like the controversy. We'll have to see, because everyone is back for the new Smash. Does that include Sonic's taunt? I don't know. We'll have to find out. December 5th.
Does that include Bowserette?
Or 12th. No. Come on. We're only like a couple minutes into this. Don't be bringing up Bowserette. There will be an appropriate time to discuss that later on in the episode.
We need a full episode. We need a full whole episode.
No. You can't justify that. Okay. So yeah, I want to be faster to get these longer chapters out, but also I want to be better. Like I want my scanlation quality to kind of stand toe to toe as much as possible with like official translation, which I think is a pretty decent goal for any like scanlator or anybody doing anything. Like you want to do it well. In particular, I have a specific reason for that as well, but I think that'll be a whole future topic. It's a translation contest, which I don't know how widespread knowledge of this contest is right now, but you guys might know what I'm talking about, and if you don't, you have to wait till we do that episode.
Now, this is a little sneak peek of the future episode. Do they all decide, or is there some voting involved? Because if there's voting involved, the passengers can vote out.
No, I think it's judges only. I haven't read the rules that thoroughly, but whatever.
Yeah. If you're wondering, it's a swimsuit contest that Tom is entering.
Yeah, I've been lifting hard, and I've been bodybuilding hardcore.
Unfortunately for him, all the judges are faceless fat old men.
Yeah, that would be pretty unfortunate. Yeah. Speaking of fat old men. Well, I guess not speaking of fat old men. What is the first step when you want to become a better sculptor?
First you cannot self-improve without pain, for you are the chisel and the marble.
That's not what I was going for. If you were to sculpt a marble sculpture, what kind of things do you need to do?
Get the marble.
Close. See, I was hoping you would know this. You must first taste the marble.
You must
lick
be
the marble. It's like, be the marble.
You must date the marble.
Yeah. So in that vein, I underwent an experiment.
You went on a date?
Week or two. No, with some marble. I lived my life as a Japanese would, so I could get into the head of the manga authors, so I could become a better scanlator. Let me explain how I did that. Step 1, I slept on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Because as far as I understand, Japanese people don't really have beds. I guess they do, but they sleep on like futons, which I imagine aren't comfortable at all.
Now,
so
this is a thing. Futon in the States is like a couch that you pull out. It's a piece of furniture. A futon in Japan is just like the mattress. It's just a pad you sleep on. It just rolls up. But you guys probably know this.
Yeah. It's like not even like a mattress though. It's like 2 inches thick maybe. To emulate it, I took my covers, which is like a blanket and like a comforter, and I taco shelled myself inside them, which is it's not a new technique. I'm not going to pretend to have invented that.
What do little Mexican girls like more than anything? Tacos. Like, so we'll make her a little taco bed.
Sonny.
Yeah, when they do the home extreme makeover.
That's right.
With the like, Juarez
family. Get out here.
Yeah, it's like your life is over.
Real talk, that it wasn't really to be Japanese that I slept on the floor. I just kind of did it to try it out, I guess. I don't know. I guess this goes back to the psychopath subplot that we're running with.
Inverted colors. You sleep on the floor. You torture small animals. Like,
well, no, I don't quite do that. Other things I did try though, I was watching an anime the other day, and they were making mochi, which is like that little kind of rice candy stuff. Mm-hmm. Do you know? Yeah, you know what it is?
I mean, I've heard of it.
Have you ever had like frozen mochi balls where it's like ice cream wrapped in like a thin, weird like layer of membrane?
No, I haven't. That sounds
powdered.
Cool.
I bet you have had it, but whatever. Anyway, so I tried to make that one day, and that went really poorly because it turns out I can't cook, and especially not foreign stuff. But also, the recipe site that I found that on, they also had a recipe for anko, which is like red bean paste, but with sugar. The ingredients are red beans and sugar, and like you boil them and stuff. And that also is disgusting. So I think I'm now a qualified scanlator because all of my experiments fail.
You could have just made like ramen noodles.
Well, I already know that I can do that, so that's not like it's not a challenge.
Well, next time you go jogging around the block, do the Naruto run. That'll qualify you.
That's a really good idea. Yeah. What I was doing instead was I was like kind of like squinting my eyes, like with the fingers doing like the sideways pull. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean that was the closest to a successful attempt that I did the eye thing. It's hard to fail that.
So this made you a better scanlator, is that correct?
Mm-hmm. Because it focuses your vision. You kind of get rid of the extraneous, like
you get rid of the peripheral distractions.
Peripheral. I kept thinking sublingual.
Under your tongue distractions, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely peripheral vision is what I was going for. That's lifestyle. That's how to live as a scanlator. But now I think we should probably talk about how to actually get good as a scanlator. So I will let you choose. It's a choose your own adventure. Do you want to do typesetting, cleaning, translation, or resources?
Are those all different things? Let's go to translation for
All
500.
right. So here are some like points that I'm thinking about how to improve a translation. Number one, I've started to do this, have a translation Bible. I've talked about that before. Just have like all of your terms and have like the English translation, what you use. I've never done that before, but I'm going to now. That'll save me so much time looking up like, how did I translate that term 15 chapters ago?
I do similar. I have the podcaster's Bible right next to me here. It's the Talmud.
Oh, is that the podcaster's Bible? I
Yes.
feel like we would have
the producer's Bible.
Okay, well, I mean, I feel like we should get some more profit and stuff. Maybe you're not following it correctly. The next big translation improvement point that I could think of, learning kind of like getting a feel for the characters, getting inside their head and like figuring out their voice. I mean, this sounds kind of hippy dippy, but I mean, there's truth to it.
You have to be the marble.
Yeah, you have to be the, I don't know, cat girl or whatever.
You have to be the method actor.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, that's actually pretty similar. Instead of translating properly, like literally, I feel like I want to start trying to get inside the character's head and then just saying something of the same idea, the same concept, the same feeling, but through their voice.
There's a lot of characters that I'd like to get in, if you know what I mean.
Get inside their heads? Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't know. That's interesting. But yeah, I wish I had some examples right now, but like.
No,
yeah.
I understand, and I think the passengers understand what you mean by that, because you can you don't have to transliterate everything and to be exactly precise. You can kind of give them a personality, and you know that somebody's gonna have like if they're gonna be quirky, you can have them do a little bit of a spork holding up, and you can take a little bit more liberties if you can flesh out the character.
Yeah, kind of like just a brief example to give a rough idea is like whenever a character says like Nissan, big brother,
Nico.
No. But instead of saying like big brother, which is always what you see like every single time, I actually started doing this in Sword Girl, where I would just say like the person's name. Yeah, how do people in English refer to their siblings? They don't say, hey brother, hey sister. They say, hey Steve, hey Sally. Like they call them by their names. So that's just kind of like a brief example where it's like not being literal and just kind of getting the point across, the emotion, conveying the right idea.
You call your siblings by their name and you call your friends bro. That's like how crazy and kooky we are.
Why do you park in a driveway and drive in a parkway? Whoa.
What's the deal?
With the airline peanuts. Get it? Because we're the flight plan.
I get it. That was full circle.
You don't even need a punchline because it's the pun reference is enough to carry the bad joke, and it's enough to kill the podcast. That's pretty much all I had for like how to improve translation kind of as an art. And this is something that always like, it's not necessarily something where you can say like do these 5 crazy tricks and then basically you're an idiot. It's not like a pop-up thing where you can just like overnight radically improve your stuff. It's just kind of like a process where you identify some little portion that you can improve on and then slowly improve it over time.
All right, so how about to improve cleaning yourself?
Oh yeah, well, hey, listen to my notes right here. It says pretty good ATM. Talking about my process.
You're complimenting yourself. I'm pretty clean right now. It's good.
But yeah. Oh, are we talking about manga? Oh shoot. No, I think actually I don't know how you clean. I would like to see you do a flight school so I can learn how you clean. But
from the master.
I think the process. Yeah, I bet. I think the process that I use right now is pretty decent, but I do need to, I think, make a better habit of paint bucketing white the inside of speech bubbles. Because sometimes, like, with the scans that I'm working with, there's, like, maybe compression errors, or maybe it's just the scans themselves, like, have some kind of imperfections. So I think I kind of want to make the speech bubbles at least. It could be. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
When I have to clean them, yeah, I see the compression things too. And I mean, obviously I'm using like full 1080p, 4K, all types of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think it's a mix of the scans. Well, they're not scanned from paper anymore. They're all digital. So I don't know why that wouldn't be. Maybe they
Well, it could be like So if I'm downloading them from the internet, could be whoever like ripped those scans and like how those are compressed, or
It could be.
when I do my screenshots, it might be that the actual file is like 16K, but I'm only on 1080p. So when I screenshot it, the way that it's like shrunken down is just imperfect. So I mean, it could be either and or.
Yeah, but that's something I never thought of was filling in the speech bubbles. Yeah, I was just gonna leave them like that. That's what I normally do when I was cleaning pages for you. But yeah, that's interesting.
Me too. And I have filled them in before, but I'm really inconsistent about it. So I think in terms of cleaning, really the only thing that I'm going to try to improve on is being more consistent about that. I guess also there's like redrawing and stuff, because you know this, the audience doesn't know this right now, but the next manga that I'm looking to scanlate has a lot of bubbles where they're clear bubbles over pictures. So I think I'm really going to have to step up my redrawing game, and I really don't know how to do that. I think you did one so far.
Well, I have 2 open right now that I've been working on.
Oh, cool.
And just like redrawing the hair, like it's really difficult compared to the other ones we've been doing. Like I don't.
And that was the easiest one
of
the 3 that you had. That was the easiest page. Just it's crazy, dude. Like redrawing is literally an art.
art. Trolling is art.
Oh, that's what they say, yeah. But who can be sure? So yeah, I mean, I don't have any tips or tricks for like how to redraw better, but I think I'm just gonna have to practice a lot. There was a cool one actually. I was doing this week's release of Antarctica Girls, and there's like they call it a snow cat. It's just like a snow vehicle thingy, but it's like, I don't know, like 8-person. You know, it's not like a snowmobile. It's a big like tank looking thing, and it has 3 windshields, and one of them had text over it. Yeah, it's a weird design. So it's like I just copy pasted one of the windshields and like dragged it over on the one I needed to clean. So sometimes you luck out when it comes to like redrawing. Not always. Rarely, in fact. Actually, there's a really cool one in the new manga that I'm gonna do, chapter 1. There's like a bush. I think it's a tomato plant bush, whatever they grow on. And I just like copy pasted leaves from random parts of the bush, the shrubbery, and just like pasted on over the text. And it actually looked really good. I was so impressed with myself. So look out for that when chapter 1 drops, like probably
Nobody
next
will
week.
know.
Well, now they will.
But that's why it's great.
I was
like
so proud.
I'll spend like 15-20 minutes on like just a small, like not even an inch wide on your screen, like just a couple little details, and I'll be so zoomed in that I won't realize like, wow, this is just a couple pixels. Nobody will ever see this or ever notice anything like that. I bet even if the artist himself came in and like re-looked at it, he'd be like, oh yeah, did I draw this? I don't know. Like it's so Probably, it's so minuscule, but I really do feel like that type of attention to detail really comes through, and it does allow people, it feels more complete. You're not gonna have everything centered, and you're gonna have everything like that, and it's gonna be, when you put passion into it, you know, they can feel that somehow. I like to believe that. Ideally, yeah. I mean, I too like to believe that. That might actually transition into the topic of typesetting, because we were talking about typesetting. Yeah, you mentioned having it centered and all that, and I'm pretty good at that. I mean, it's hard to mess that up. Like, I center the text, and well, I mean, if you try, you know, try at all, you don't even have to try hard. I think typesetting is the number one thing that like differentiates scans from just trashed here. Like you'll see people, because it's the most noticeable thing. Yeah, well, I mean, it really holds it's the front line, so to speak. And if your typesetting's bad, it doesn't matter how good your redrawing skills are. Nobody's going to be able to notice from your bad typesetting. True. So in terms of typesetting, I mean, I pretty much have the basics down, and they're solid. The one thing I wish I would do or could do is upgrade my software to something that can do outlined text. That's such a huge thorn in my side, and I'm just too stupid and stubborn. No, not in Paint.net. Not to my knowledge. I've got an extra license of Photoshop if you want it. Wink. No, because it's too bulky, and I don't want to have to learn new software. That'll be for the second level up episode when I finally upgrade my stuff. Everybody donate $10,000 so Tom can buy some Photoshop. Yeah, if everyone pitches in $10,000, I can buy a Photoshop and retire. It's like with Wikipedia, where they're like, if everybody donated $5 right now, we would shut down this advertising right away. It's like, if you all donated $10,000. All right, anyway, so yeah, I mean, most of my typesetting game is good, but
I've recently downloaded some new fonts. So previously I've used like one or two fonts.
Wingdings and Comic Sans.
In particular, whenever I had to do like, I don't know, a text document or something, like when I had to type the text of a document in the picture, you know what I mean, right?
No, what?
Like if there's like a document in a manga and I have to write the text for it,
Yes,
I'll use like, I'm very inconsistent with the font that I use. So now I've written it down and I've downloaded a couple new fonts. So now I have like a font for my normal text dialogue. For you nerds out there, Supplementary Comic NC. That's one I've used before and still will.
NC stands for no copyright.
Probably, actually, yeah. I think last time I mentioned it, you said North Carolina, but we'll go back in the records to check.
I know I did not do that.
Maybe I said I've thought it every time, so I don't.
Well, okay, yeah, that's a funny joke, but
So then, these are all like completely free, by the way. I made sure to get royalty free, open license.
Yeah, hence the NC, the no copyright.
Well, or North Carolina. I couldn't think of any other NC. I tried really hard.
Because North Carolina is rumored, and it's notorious for their free libertarian licensing on fonts.
Well, no, but I mean the comic industry started in North Carolina before it quickly moved to New York.
That is true.
And that's where like comic inspired fonts are often inspired by North Carolina's motifs. So anyway, the next font is one I've also used, Buxton Sketch, for like sound effects. Now I'm going to start using it for like handwritten dialogue. So sometimes in speech bubbles, the author will just handwrite the text. I think it's like for emphasis, like they're yelling or something, or there's like emotion to it. And this is kind of like a handwriting looking font. So that's what I'm going to use now. Also, just as a brief aside, in terms of dialogue, sometimes like there will be random words that are bolded or like italicized or something. And I'm going to start doing more of that too. It's just a small touch like that, but it really spruces up the feel of the overall typesetting and even the flow of how you read it.
How about different colors for every character?
Well,
depending on their hair color.
Yeah, I stick basically to the black. It's like a slice of life realistic. It's like it's all black hair.
Even in the slice of life ones, like they end up having
nowadays
a blonde there and a redhead and all different types.
Yeah, the blonde transfer student.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
maybe
half
the blonde,
Westerner.
Like, yeah, half Japanese, half Western. My favorite country, Western. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I have two more fonts. These are the new ones. Gunny Written is what it's called. And I'm going to use that for like anytime something is handwritten, not from the author handwritten, but like if a character writes them. I don't know. Whatever. There's nothing else to say about that. And then
typesetting.
Finally,
yeah, it's great.
Finally, MSP Gothic is what I'm going to have for like. So in Antarctica Girls especially, they use the app Line a lot. It's like a chat app. That's what we're recording with right now, in fact. And
spoilers.
Not really. And I'm going to start using that as like a standard default for all like computer text and printed out text. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of boring, kind of like autistically detailed here, but the point is I'm going to start being better about using set fonts for set like reasons, set roles, and I think that'll improve the quality a lot.
And I think your autism will reverberate down to the passengers and to all the readers that have not yet realized that there is a podcast to listen to, and I think they will appreciate that.
Yes, that's all I can hope for, just to have my autism spread and to let it be known to the world.
Somebody's going to be reading one of the future chapters and you're like, this typesetting and cleaning is just superb. Let me scroll down to the end page here that normally I don't read, but the superb level of typographical consistency has really spurred me to read this last end page. Oh, what? They have a podcast? Well, I'm not normally one to listen to audio programming, but after such typographical masterpieces, I'm sure that their audio quality will be top.
Yes, and to you listener who just went through that experience, welcome aboard. So that's pretty much, we've covered like translating, cleaning, typesetting. Those are like the main three. So really all that's left is a brief little mention of a new resource that I started using whenever sometimes you'll need to look up a kanji that you can't identify. gshow.org is the new resource that I'm using for that.
The new hotness.
Previously I've mentioned, I think it was www.jdic.
Old and busted.
Which was, and It's okay. It's fine for what it is, but it's kind of hard to use properly because I don't know, visually it's kind of a mess. I don't know how to explain it. But with G-Show, the cool thing is you can search by radical just like the other one. But when you type in one radical, it like kind of eliminates all the ones that don't match. Do you kind of know what I mean?
No, but I don't know what you mean because I don't speak Japanese.
That's true. Well, whatever. I mean, if you guys know what I'm talking about, then you do. And if you don't, then if I try to explain it more, you probably won't get it either. So just know that if you're in the business of looking up kanji, use jisho.org, JISHO, instead of www.jdic. That's all. Yeah, that's it. That's the only resource improvement that I have.
So we were talking about how the brand new listeners were just captivated by our audio performance and audio quality, which kind of segues into just being a better podcast as well. And now, since I don't do much of the scanlating, every once in a while I'll do a couple cleaning of the pages and washing of, my body to make sure it's clean, and because that's part of cleaning.
I mean, that doesn't really affect the scanlation, but it's appreciated, I'm sure.
I'm absolutely sure. Everybody around me agrees. But
the
audio quality is something that's important in producing, something that you want to listen to, something that's good. We've actually had comments on the YouTube that's like, wow, you guys have such high production quality podcast. I can't believe you only have like 10 subs or however many we had at the time. Yeah, I know. And I was like, are you listening to the same one that we are? But in comparison, I mean, I do spend a decent amount probably 2 to 3 hours a week editing the podcast and uploading that and everything like that.
I mean, in terms of podcast, really, there are a few things that kind of we're limited by our tech. Like, we have a lot of lag often. Like, some episodes it's worse than others, and I'm really not sure what causes it. But there's like a delay in between, one of us talking and the other hearing. And I don't know, when we've experimented with using Discord, does that lag go away at all?
It's interesting. So like we alluded to previously, we're using the chat app called Line to record. So we just record a conversation on Line. The problem with that is it's got like a bandwidth cap or quality cap. So Tom actually sounds a lot worse on the podcast than he does in real life, if you can imagine that.
I don't really appreciate that implication there. And it's not even an implication. It's more like a direct insult.
And so we've experimented with using different recording things, like Skype or Discord is actually one that's very popular these days, and we've used that. However, for some reason, the internet that either on one of our sides, since we're not in
yours.
It lags too much, and it'll robot the other person's voice. It'll make you sound and it's no good. We can't record like that. But it does have higher quality audio. So it's always this dilemma where we're like, if we can get great internet, we'll use Discord, but if not, we'll go back to Line where the bandwidth is very low. So it's a constant struggle to see that. In fact, we had planned to record on Discord today, since this was the episode of upping your quality, and the motif was being good. But of course, that's not the case. So we recorded 5 minutes in and we're like, well, this isn't going to work, so let's hop back online. This is absolutely riveting behind the scenes content that you don't get anywhere else.
Even worse, though, is something that's bugged me a lot, especially last episode, because that was just completely bugged. But even the episode before and a few others here and there are a lot of dropped syllables. I don't know what caused that, because that seems pretty anomalous, the extent to which we were getting dropped syllables last week, at least.
I'll have to double check for the sake of, having a episode on podcast and in general quality. I'll have to go through and make sure it's all encoded properly. I do have a feeling that was an encoding error or a rendering
error. Because even your words were getting dropped, and like it would make sense if it were just mine, just because you're recording locally and I'm coming in over the internet. But even since your stuff was dropped, I think that was some kind of weird compression, encoding, whatever. I'm just saying buzzwords.
I have theories on that, but it won't be interesting content for the listeners. So
we'll save it for the post show, because I'm kind of interested.
All right.
I have a piece of like a note here though in regards to dropped audio. There was a quote, like there was a line I think 2 episodes ago, well, it was maybe 3, whatever, where I was saying I like Pokemon but something, and the Mon part got cut out, so all you could hear is I like Pokebutt. And I want to state for the record that is not what I had intended to say.
It's a Freudian slip.
That's a Freudian glitch.
wait. Well, I mean, do you mean Pokebutt like May and Dawn, or Pokebutt like Gardevoir and Bunny Hop or whatever that one is?
I don't know what it meant because I didn't say it. What did Line mean by this? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, hopefully the dropped audio is more like, I don't know, something that will just kind of fix itself over time, because I don't know if we have any ways of addressing it.
We've got top men on the case.
Weren't you gonna get upgrade your internet or something?
Possibly.
All right, that might do something.
Now, if all the listeners just donated $10,000 each, we'd be able to get good internet, and I'd upgrade microphones.
These mics are okay, but yeah.
These mics are great. These are the top mics you can buy in these money brackets.
Right.
Until you get professional mics. Yeah.
Yeah. So segueing into video, I think that's our last point of leveling up. And I actually have some stuff maybe, but let's do your stuff first because mine is more off topic.
Well,
do you have any video? Oh.
yeah. Well, we've gotten a ton of views on the YouTube. We're up to 2,500 something views of something like that, which is absolutely fantastic. A lot of those are from the clips, and that's a high agency of going through and finding out the best little clips and the segments of the podcast, and then putting them with the background and things like that. I haven't been doing those for the past 2 weeks. I've been that's a Sudoku corner because I've been very busy with other work related things. Because I'm employed from something that's not this. Now, if all the listeners were to donate $10,000,
hold on. You're employed. I don't know about that.
I have to earn neat bucks in some fashion. So,
how else will you afford your tendies?
Yes.
Good boy points.
That Publix that's doxing me. The grocery store won't accept my good boy points. I tell them, no, look, I've been a good boy for 2 weeks. Give me my tendies.
You should give them what does it actually stand for? Great British Pounds? Because isn't there GBP? Is that what it stands for? Great British Pounds?
Yeah, probably.
The real good boy points. If you're a good boy, then you get good boy points.
The clips have been an awesome thing to do because I feel like we bring in more people. In fact, 2 of our hottest videos are just from the clips. It's is this hentai doujin canon and things like that.
Yeah.
And I really like doing those. Those are a lot of fun. But I also think it would the higher quality, if we actually made, if we wanted to, and we were smart and had high agency, we could actually make good quality content. I mean, we could do the clips that are this podcast ripped with an anime background and things like that, or we could do clips that are actually good, clips that are meant to be videos, clips that are meant to be standalone.
Yeah, those are called videos at that point. That's pretty high effort. I don't know.
That's high effort. That's the next level.
Then we become a YouTube channel rather than a podcast. It seems weird.
Well, it's both. It's both.
It's possible.
Then here is insane. Here's Patreon level. Here's we have 1,000 subs level. This is video content where we do the podcast, and it's TCGTE, where if you're in the paywall or one of our other paywall favorite,
there's a billion paywall podcasts
where you get to see the video, you get to see the Sven cam when you're you get to see the camera behind
you get to see the camera.
You get to see the camera behind. You get to see the camera behind, and you get to see us doing on.
I'm not gonna face reveal though, because that always that's doxing, and B, it always goes south because I'm so handsome I'll drive away all the male fans.
Well, just put on your fursuit.
Then I'll have to buy a fursuit.
Well, you wear it all the time anyway, so you can.
No, I'm just naturally hairy. I just don't shave properly.
Well, I think it would be great if we found some way to do, unironically, a video component of the podcast. Something that's, now you showed a Digibro podcast where they had their avatars talking, and that was pretty cool.
That was crazy. It was like a drawing of each of the characters, and whenever they were talking in the audio, their mouths would animate on the picture. And I thought that's super high effort, but I thought you could probably find some way. I don't know how to code any of these programs, but I'm sure one of those high-end Adobe video things would let you program something like that. When audio is going through this channel, animate the little mouth flaps. But, I actually think that it was done manually because that's the only episode like that. All the other ones had different thumbnails.
Well, it is a lot easier to do if everything is in a different audio channel. However, our setup does not allow that at this point. We would need the BG4U studio located in scenic redacted.
If everyone donates $10,000.
I like that meme. I unironically like that meme. It's a funny meme.
I don't know if it's good enough to extend past this episode, but we'll definitely beat it like a dead horse. What?
Yeah, I've said that like 4 episodes.
Oh, okay. I only know it from today. But anyway, if you want video content, I do have an idea for a video that talking about wanting like a nice new video to like draw in people. I have an idea that I might work on maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow.
I'm so excited. I have an irrational fascination with this. I don't understand it. I really don't. Like, I don't understand what it is about this, but it activates my almonds in a specific way.
It's because you're 200% mega gay, obviously. What we're talking about is Bowsette. Obviously, this is the latest meme on the internet. I don't want to waste too much podcast time talking about it, but since it's trendy, I had the idea to be a trend surfer and do a flight school in which I scanlate like Pixiv comic manga thingies of Bowsette. So I think I might do that tonight, tomorrow. The video might be up Friday or Saturday. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it'll pull in all the normie views. But can I fill the air? Because I can't talk about Bowsette for 2 hours. I mean, it's an okay meme, but I'm not like crazy obsessed with it.
I have to do a full episode because I need to defend myself where it is confirmed in canon that it's not gay.
No, because it's non-canonical. It's completely
because Dr. Mario, the meme with Dr. Mario shows like, wow, it's like it has replaced all of your organs and changed your chromosomes, like chromosomal level. It's not gay.
Yeah. Because of that meme, though, because I agree with it. I imagine that it's a magical transformation. Why would it transform everything but the chromosomes? You go all the way. But because of that meme, how autistic it is, I want to side with the gay side, like saying that it's gay. No, in my heart, I don't think it's gay. That meme is too autistic. It's like a false flag.
No. You know what? It was a pure defense. It was like somebody called him mega gay, ultra mega gay, 2000% mega gay, and he's like, nah, like prove it.
No, I've got Doctor on my side. I've got Dr. Mario here.
I like Chris Chan's approach where he was completely out of the loop. I don't want to talk about Chris
Chan on this podcast. He's such a tragic figure, dude. Leave him in the past. The internet relic history. He's too sad, dude.
Somebody who will remain nameless as C Chan will implied that it was Bowsette was Bowser's daughter, and I like that a lot better. I'm gonna go with that.
Doesn't make any sense though.
But it's my headcanon. It doesn't have to make sense.
He puts on the crown and he becomes his own daughter. Excellent.
Either he puts on the crown and has daughter that way, or Chris Chan's lore is that the illegitimate daughter between Mario and Peach.
No, Bowser and Peach.
What'd I say?
Mario and Peach.
Well, yeah. Either way, because how this all started was somebody did a comic of both Bowser and Mario getting rejected by Peach at the end of Mario Odyssey because she was total jerk. She deserves all this, and then Bow puts on the hat and he's like, okay, the girlfriend now to make Peach jealous, and you see Mario and Bowsette like talking and making Peach jealous, and it's like she totally deserves that. He's a jerk at the end of Odyssey.
And you know what they say, Mario didn't care who Bowser was till he put on the crown. Ooh. And that kept this Bowsette talk because man, I spent 20 minutes on Bowsette.
And we easily could.
We easily did. So I think that's pretty much it for like leveling up. But if you were to reach max level, you might have enough points to become like a super psychic, don't you think?
Wow, this is a great transition, and I'm ruining it by calling attention to the meta.
That's okay.
Function. It's true. That's the joke. I'm only pretending to have passions.
Mm-hmm. We're secretly expert, but we dumb it down just to seem more approachable.
This is more approachable, dumbed down version of the Manga Minute.
Nice.
Tom,
nailed it.
This is a manga that you have been requesting, just hammering in. You've been writing the senators, and they finally come to me, and they need to do this to appeal to the voter base. And I'm like, okay,
yeah.
Well, Tom, what is this manga?
I don't have the name in front of me. It's Psyche Kusuo Sainan.
Pause it. Hold on. I thought you would have it. I don't know
No,
why.
it's not my
I don't know
job.
why I thought you would have it, but
It's your job, dude. You're the Manga Minute guy.
Psyche
I don't
Kusuno
know.
has a wide array of superpowers at his command, including telepathy and telekinesis. This might sound awesome, but in Kuso's experience, superpowers are not all they're cracked up to be. He tries to live a normal life despite his annoying abilities.
Beautiful. I couldn't have said it better myself.
So
including the delivery.
So you recommended this manga about it, that tick.
Well, I watched the anime. It was. I haven't. Full disclosure, I haven't read the manga at all. But I thought the anime charmed me laugh frequently. In fact,
Ooh, that's rare.
I know most of the time, like I don't actually real laugh. I'll just say like, "That's funny." This time I was actually laughing like almost every episode.
Wow, that's interesting. I might have to watch the anime of it because I feel like that might actually be better than the manga. I read the manga,
Yeah.
so our tastes don't really align. My tastes are for
No.
cute girls and to fill an
Hey, I like cute
existential.
girls too.
I'm trying to fill a void in my soul that's missing because of
me
a lack
too.
of romance. Yeah, so I mostly just read rom-coms, whereas there's no cute girls in this manga, or at least enough
Well,
to.
at the end there are like 4 main girls.
Yes, but this is 200 chapters long, whereas
Yeah, I know.
I've read the first about 10.
All right. How far kind of have you gotten? Oh, well, so basically, we'll kind of talk about this kid has like every psychic power ever. He's like God, basically. He has a few drawbacks here and there, but for all intents and purposes, those are only plot devices to where he can't just solve every problem instantly. And like his goal is to kind of be like middle of the line. Kind of like Chio is always like trying to get slightly less than average.
This is middle road way. Like, yeah,
Yes. He uses his powers to get exactly average on everything.
that's very
Like, that's, like-
Japanese. Is like they don't want to be anything. They want to be like they want to be the form of excellence is to be exact average. That's very
Yeah,
very
like
Asian.
nail that sticks out gets hammered down.
Yes.
Well, I mean, this isn't really from that mentality. This is more like it would be a problem if his psychic powers became found out. Or,
Well, that mindset or that psyche is because from
my
the
God.
culture. Yeah.
all right, you have to force it now for that. Well, I don't know, because like everybody else in the show has like the classic like shonen or whatever like mentality. They all have their massively over-exaggerated personality quirk. I don't know, whatever. We're getting too far into the weeds on that. So
No, that's interesting content. People.
you
people
think?
like that. Yeah.
I want to talk about the show, man. Who cares
I'll
about
talk about the show,
The big
but-
brain analysis.
But people like the big brain analysis. Look how many
True,
people Digibros got. This is like, wow, we're
Is
we're
he
really
big brain analysis?
Yeah, he's got a lot of big brain analysis. He's got a couple videos just talking about big brain, like why this is fun, why it works, why things like that. You know,
All right,
I
fair
think it's
enough.
important.
Yeah, he's trying to be normal. All of the like wacky side characters are like always trying to get involved with him, do garbage stuff. Nobody knows that he has psychic powers except for like his parents, and throughout the show, a few more people learn. Yeah, I don't know. How far did you get? Like, what side characters? Because to me, the show is like all the characters. It's got a huge cast.
Interaction with the normal world, and this
Yes.
world, this to me is all the side characters are screaming that they want to be special, whereas the guy who is actually special, he's basically God at this point.
Yeah.
Just wants to be the average. He wants to be middle of the road.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like his interactions with Chinchinbuyo. How do you say that? Yeah, the Chunin. It's
Chunibyo? Yeah.
Yeah,
Kaido
Chunibyo.
is his name.
He's
best
darkness.
boy.
He's pretty good. I liked him. I read a couple chapters in one of my favorites that I read for that point, where the Chunibuyo is looking for. He saw somebody teleport and he's like, oh, somebody's got magic powers. I knew it. Like, I'm gonna go over there. It's like, and so he draws the guy out, and it's like the stereotypical ugly drawing of the guy's face. And it's like
Like the how to draw manga tier.
yeah, muscle elf tier. Or it's like very similar to Sanji when Sanji gets his wanted poster in One Piece.
Oh, yeah, from One
It's like, yeah, he's got his eyebrows up like that. It's exactly like, and it's like Psyche, the main character, the psychic dude, has like little antennas sticking out of his head. He's got like 2 antenna bobbing. Otherwise, he's normal dude.
Oh, pink
in fact.
hair also is weird.
Well, not in Japan, but
They later do address both points where he uses his mind control over the entire world. It seemed like both of those qualities are okay. And in fact, due to the hair color mind control, other people started to get born with other kind of colored hair.
Oh,
so that
this-
explains everyone else.
Deepest lore. So he
It's very
explains,
deep.
he retcons all of Japan,
Yeah.
like all of
All
Chinese
the
anime.
world.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, true.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. I like a little tidbit. So his manga is ancillary to all where you have a different colored hair
guess
hair
so,
girl
yeah,
or
I mean-
anything. But anyway, a guy puts out wanted posters with this crudely drawn face at the end, and then it's so funny at the end. Somebody comes up with that face. He's like, "Hey, I'm so and so," and it's clearly badly. It was funny.
In
My
the
favorite
manga,
chapter.
I don't remember that scene at all from the anime. That sounds pretty good though. I might have to actually read the manga to get like the rest of the experience.
And, yeah, I mean, it is a little bit different, especially when they do a manga to anime adaptation. They do leave out a couple little things like that.
And they like reorder bits here and there.
You might want to reread the manga, and I might want to actually watch the anime, because for me, it's really hard to get a comedy manga to make me laugh. Like, I've really only laughed. I've laughed at very few animes and Japanese properties. One would be The Daily Lives of High School Boys. I thought that was one of the things that was ever created, and it's so rare.
Good.
It's so rare. I went back and rewatched it, and it's like, since I already knew the jokes, it wasn't as fun, but it was still, I could tell how it was still good. And Crumrade High School, I don't know how to pronounce that, but was also pretty decent. Yeah, was also pretty decent. It's very rare that I laugh at things, and most comedy things, even the rom-coms and things like that, like, it's so predictable that I'll never laugh. But to see something that's genuinely funny is a treat.
Yeah, and I think anime actually has the leg up over manga in that regard, because like I feel like you have more pacing options and delivery with like voice inflection and all that. Maybe even like slapstick sounds. Like you could do a lot more, I think, in terms of humor.
In fact, that's why I think if you're gonna read this manga, maybe even watch it like as an anime instead. Or maybe start it as an anime so you can get like the gist of the pacing. You can kind of build up the characters and the ideas. So yeah. I think it's something that I won't continue reading, but I might start to watch before I read, if that makes sense. I think I'd go and download all these episodes, watch that on legally streaming sites of Crunchyroll.com or Netflix. There you go.
Because my normie friend recommended it to me, because he watches a few animes, but really only like what's on Netflix. And he recommended to the wee friends amongst us. And
so he's My Little Pony and Sugar Crush Island over the.
I don't know what Sugar Crush Island is. You're too advanced for me. Your normie level is off the charts.
What's that one that Netflix made?
Oh no, that was Crunchyroll.
Oh, it looks like Steven Universe. Yeah, well, maybe that's
that's a Crunchyroll, and it's not yet. I don't know.
My Little Hero Academy. I don't know.
Yep.
My Little Hero Academy can't be this good. Is going to be what it is.
That's probably what it is. Yeah, I don't know how much more to say without like spoiling it, but let me give you kind of like a teaser, so, like a future characters. Like I said, I think characters are what carry it. Like, the stupid guy with like the weird butt chin.
Yeah, and like a scar on his face.
Yeah, like,
he's like
he actually he's done well. Like most like stupid characters, I feel like are really done poorly oftentimes. But like something about like the brand of his stupidity made me laugh multiple times. Like they went on a field trip to Okinawa, I think. I don't know. You could almost say tropical. Who knows?
Everybody knows. Everybody
that's
listening knows Okinawa.
That's where all the brown girls from anime are from. They're from Okinawa.
Well, you mean all the delicious brown girls is
ever. Anyway, the whole time the country. So he's like, oh yeah. It's like they have different dialects. It's like they have like a different word for like just a cat. They'll say like cat though. Or something. I don't. It's a stupid example, but like they'll say a different one. He'll say, "Oh yeah," it's like as expected of a foreign country.
That's funny. Just for that, I might have to go watch this. That sounds pretty good.
Some more characters. Did you get to the beautiful girl? I think her name is Teruhashi. She has like blue long hair.
I don't think
every time she's like Bishojo, like beautiful girl trope, where like everybody is like falling in love with her, she's a crush on Psyche. Her whole thing is like she's self-aware and kind of conniving about her looks and her charm. So we'll say like, oh, like every time, like, you know, they're like, so her whole goal is to get Psyche to say, oh, and he never does because he can like minds and stuff, and he knows like her entire plan. And every time she's like in the scene, she has like a yellow aura. It's like the funniest little touch.
That's great.
And then,
yeah, I'm
like,
gonna have to download it.
Yeah, you should. Later, there's like a spirit. He actually learns about Psyche's power. Like any magic powers learns about Psyche's power. Like a couple. It's a really good manga / anime. I wish I hadn't finished it. One thing that I thought was really cool is how their classes are like 1A, 1B.
Yes.
Yeah, these ones use Zinner cards. Those mind reading like psychic power cards where it's like the plus, like the circle.
Oh,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember that from Ghostbusters. That was the first time
Yeah.
I was introduced to those.
Same here, and that's what they use. So it's like dash, wavy thing. I think that's Psyche's class.
That's funny.
I thought that was such a nice little touch. And even it's cool. Like his name is Psychic Usuo, like psychic. This is like the dub or the subs that I was reading. Every single time they had a number that was like 350, they did it as 305. This happened multiple times throughout the series. So like there's a scene where they were like bidding on something. It's like, I'll give you 300 yen. I'll give you 350. No, I'll give you 400. I'll give you 450. But the sub said, I'll give you 300. I'll give you 400. I'll give you 405. It's like, bros, how do you the numbers?
Is somebody dyslexic?
But it's like every time that happened, like every time there was like a 50, something, it would be something 05.
Are you sure that you aren't missing?
And I double checked, and how would that make sense though? From like
I
a
don't
bidding
know.
war
I'm just
to
making,
go 300, 305, 405.
That's embarrassing.
That's
That whoever was in charge of the subs translations.
I know. It's like, guys, what are you doing here? It's like, and every time I make fun of someone's translations, I make plenty of my own mistakes.
It's
So
with love that you do it.
Yeah.
From a place of acceptance and light ribbing.
But that's all I have to say about Psyche. Go read it. Go watch it. 5 U's out of 5, and then 3 thumbs up out of 3.
I don't rate the manga very, but I'm excited to go watch the anime actually, because for me, if you're like me and you only read rom-coms for the void of loneliness in your heart, then Psyche just offers a brief reprieve, a little bit of
later on. There's a slight hint of it's not really reciprocated. It's more like Chuni guy does one of the crushing on Chuni guy the whole time, and then also the beautiful girl and the much later girl who gets introduced, their love triangle rivalry vying for Psyche. So there are slight rom-com elements to it. So that might be enough to get more.
You. But I'm actually I'm excited to go watch the. In fact, I'll probably the first episode of the anime. So we'll have to go see how that is. That sounds it. You've convinced me.
Excellent. I've done my job. Now end the podcast forever.
This episode, it's podcast forever.
It's not bad. Tom, 1 score episodes.
Tom and Aiden forever. 100 times. 100 years. Tom and Aiden.
Yeah, you got it, dude. Rick and Morty told me more. You have to take that. I turned myself into a podcast.
I'm podcast Rick.
Yeah, you got to come out. Take him out back. Goodbye, joke.
Speaking of saying, what are we gonna say when all the passengers die because there's no survivors on the airplane? Where are they gonna fuck box? Where are his family? Where are the family members of the passengers going to find the last words of the passengers in the black box? Where can they go?
Well,
on the line, rickandmorty.com, rickandmorty100years.com.
All right, you can't make the same joke twice. You're gonna have to edit it out twice. And Morty doesn't play anymore. We'll be chastised by the community.
But it's post-ironic.
I don't know about that. So they can find us on the YouTubes, on anchor.fms, on pretty much any podcast app feed searcher. Just search The Flight Plan or Big Guy for You, numeral 4-letter U. Similarly, you can any mangas that we post. I put all the the actual files to download on gab.com/big guy, numeral 4-letter U. Any updates there, even though I don't put updates there, but maybe I will one day. And MangaDex is where I upload all of the mangas. We've been in a 2-week Big Guy for You manga release drought, but this week, probably, I guess the day that this episode comes out, I will put out a chapter of Antarctica Girls, chapter 10, up this week, so I'll have to hurry up, finish it. Yeah, and I think that's places you can find us, and enough. The next from Big Guy for You, I think, start next week, chapter 1. Look
I
forward
am so
to
excited.
You kind of don't even know what it is.
I saw some pictures. I cleaned picture 3.
Were you able to piece from those 3 pictures?
Not really. I didn't read what the pictures had to say. I didn't like. I could very easily just reverse image search the images that you gave me and like figure what it is, but that's way too much work.
I don't think you could. How would you? Like, where would they be posted? If you were.
Oh, I'm sure there's somewhere. I might do it just for fun to see if I can figure out.
Yeah, I'd be very curious. Yeah, but anyway, while you do that, I think we might be crashing this podcast.
How many survivors do you want this week? I don't know. I've been thinking about it. How many do you want?
Well, what have you been thinking about? Like, what are your ideas here?
Historically, we know survivors, but what if we mixed it up and had 0 survivors instead?
You know, I'm kind of hesitant to break with tradition, but it does sound kind of cool and novel. So yeah, let's crash this podcast 0 survivors.
With 0 survivors.